Happy New Year, everyone. It's January 2020, and I'd like to take an opportunity to use a venue, to use media as a way to keep you informed on what's going on in our community, on the things that we're working on the stuff that we're doing, and ultimately share with you a little bit of the vision that I have for the community and the stuff that I'm going to be working on coming up here in 2020. One of the things that I think is really cool about technology is that we have the ability to use means like media, video, audio, to communicate with the public. And so I want to take advantage of that. The idea is that we do kind of a fireside chat-y. There's no fire here. I think we're actually in a burn ban. But to maybe have some opportunity where I can sit down and share with the community what's going on. We've done this a little bit with Muffins with the Mayor. That's been really, really successful, and I still want to continue to do that because I love sitting down with members of our community to talk about the challenges that maybe folks are dealing with, and then look at some of the things that we can do to be better. But it is important, I think, that we get information out to you and really just do it in a way that is a little bit easier for folks to deal with, to manage. And so not everyone can come to a Muffins with the Mayor. And the idea is that these videos would be something that you could share. They were things that you can look at and view it in your time, in your leisure. So that's kind of the big idea. If you've got some grandiose plan of what you think I should call something like this, it's just kind of a mayor chat. But let me know. Send me an email, shoot me a text or something. I'd be happy to brand it and use some ingenious name that a local residents come up with. Talking about a couple of things that we've been doing. We actually last night, so today is Friday. Last night was the 16th of January. We had our public hearing on the CIP. And we had over 50 people that came down and testified, got hundreds of emails, which is phenomenal. I think since I've been in office, which has only been a year, but that's the most engagement that I've seen with the community on a single issue. And it's big. I mean, it's a big issue. We're talking about a 10-year capital plan on improvements that we're looking at making in our community that help us address the deferred maintenance issues. And so that's really been a huge win. It's awesome when the community comes out, especially when they stick out till 11:30 at night to be able to provide testimony on something. That passion is phenomenal. But we also have lots of people that email us because they've got jobs and you've got families, and not everyone can make the time to come down, and that's okay. That's why we have those means of communication. So continue to provide that feedback on anything that comes up before the Assembly. We love to hear from you. The Assembly loves to hear from you, and it's really valuable. We really are really better when we get that input from the community. So one of the things that I've been working on since I was elected into office about a year ago is we've been working on a strategic plan. And the idea behind this is that there are so many great things that are going on in our community, but there's only so much time in the day. There's 24 hours and I'm one person, and we have limited resources. So we want to make sure that we're spending the energy and the time on the things that we have prioritized as a community, and that I prioritized as the administration as being mayor. And so we came up with 5 strategic outcomes, 5 things that we're going to be focusing our energy on. And I wanted to share those with you because it really frames the conversation on a lot of the things that we're doing and why we're doing those things. So the first one is forge strong military connections. We are a strong military community. We have advocated for the installations. We've advocated for the members of the community that do the work at those installations, that protect our nation. And so that's a really big part of who we are, and it's really something that we've made a priority within the administration. And it speaks to us as a community and the work that we do and how we interact with members of the military community. And so we want to make sure that's a big part of who we are. And so I encourage folks, some of the things that we can do that's made our community so great is if you have a member of your neighborhood that has moved here that is a member of the military, invite them over. Go and say hi. It can be a little bit intimidating when you get orders to go from Florida to Fairbanks, Alaska, or Eielson Air Force Base. And so we want to make sure that folks know that we are here as a resource, and that's part of what makes Alaska great. You might have remembered here a short while ago with the 40 below snap that there was a local resident that was going around and helping people get their vehicles started. Those are the type of things that makes Fairbanks great. And we want to make sure that we continue to foster that kind of awesome behavior and awesome attitude about our community. So that's part of who we are, is forging strong military connections. And we encourage you as residents, as members of the community, to take advantage of that and help in that. Also, develop cleaner and cheaper energy. This is something that's been a priority for this community for a long time. We've been making some progress. It's been a little bit slow, but we've been making steady progress. So you may have noticed, I was actually coming back from the airport about a week ago, and if you are on the Mitchell, if you're North Pole folks, you're taking the Mitchell home, and it's 12 o'clock at night, and you look to the south, you'll see a big bright light in this thing that looks like a concrete thumb sticking up out of the ground. That is the 5.25 million gallon liquid natural gas tank that was built and finalized last year in 2019. And so that tank is being filled as we speak, and because of the work that's been done by the IGU and that new piece of infrastructure that's in our community, we can bring on thousands of new customers to the IGU and FNG system. As we speak right now, IGU is taking new applications for the North Pole community and the Fairbanks community. And so this is a great way for you to be able to be involved in that new project. If you're looking at changing out a boiler, you're on that system, I would highly encourage you to reach out and talk with them. But that's part of this priority that we have, is looking at those ways that we can strategize and help bring down the cost of energy here, because it is so expensive. Also looking at reducing the energy that we do use. So looking at efficiency is a big part of that as well. The other strategic priority is building a diversified and resilient economy. So this is where we look at things like our military, which is a big part of our community. How are we meeting the need for the military industry, the folks that are here that provide meals, they provide the housing, they provide the resources for the military to do what they're going to do? How do we look at the construction industry? How do we look at the research industry? We've got a huge research industry here in the interior through the University of Alaska. And so how are we looking at diversifying those things? We've got a lot of really great things that we're working on. The SEDS document is one that we've taken under our wing here in the mayor's office that we're working on. And there's lots of other opportunities for us to look at diversification. So we're definitely interested in that. The next one is to provide excellence in government. And this is one of the things that I'm really trying to make a big part of my administration is when we look at governance and government, there is an expectation that we have as a community that it's done well and it's done right. And so it's really important that as we look at the things that we do as a community, the services that we provide, the regulations that we have to abide by as part of our local code, that we are doing that in a way that actually makes sense. And we're doing that in a way that provides opportunities for members in the community to, if they're not into compliance, to come into compliance. And so it's a little bit of a touchy subject sometimes, but it's really important that as we look at this responsibility that we have as part of local government, that we do it in a very meaningful way, and in some way that's, in all reality, I guess, trying to minimize the impact to residents. And so we're trying to do that. We're making a lot of good progress. We often expect people to come down to community buildings, to community meetings, and folks have lives, and that's very difficult. If you've got a family, if you've got family living with you, maybe they're younger, maybe they're older, maybe you don't have means of transportation. We still want you to be engaged in the community, in the things that we're doing, and so we're trying to find new and innovative ways to do that. And that really speaks to that priority of excellence in government. And the final one that we have, our fifth priority, is to promote healthy environments in our to promote healthy environment and homes. And so this speaks to the air quality issue. This speaks to our groundwater issues that we have in the community. This speaks to efficiency of homes. This speaks to the quality of the homes that we live in. Air quality inside your home is really important. As a builder, it's really important that you understand the complications with elevated levels of moisture, with low levels of moisture. There's lots of things that we want to make sure our community is educated on, and that they understand the impacts that those have on your health. So we've got a lot of other really cool things, kind of to dovetail into one of the cool, exciting things that I think we're doing as a community, ties in with our fifth priority, which is promote healthy environment and homes, is the ESP testing that we've been doing. So the Assembly appropriated funding last year for ESP testing. We've been working with the state of Alaska, working with the EPA to do that testing on ESP devices. And this is something that has not been done in the United States. And so we're really breaking ground, we're breaking trail on this, and it's been really exciting. Nick Zarnecki, who's our Air Quality Division Manager, was just down, and I'm not sure, it's on the East Coast somewhere where they're doing these testings in some big fancy lab, but they've got our ESP device, they've got our catalytic converter device, they've got our pellet stove and our wood stove. And we've actually partnered with the state of Alaska. The state of Alaska has been able to contribute funding to this. And they literally did a test run last week on the ESP and got some really interesting results. It's all preliminary, and all I had was pictures to look at of a dirty filter and a not dirty filter. But it looked really exciting, and you could definitely tell like there is positive stuff going on when it comes to the ESP. Like it is cleaning up the emissions. The work that we're doing right now is on the pellet stoves, and we definitely are seeing a difference there. And so it's important that we do this work and that we do it within the parameters that EPA, their testing protocols, so that it can be bona fide data. And so we're working with them, we're working with the state. In fact, we actually had representatives from the ESP industry, from the testers that they use. They actually came in as well to look at how we're doing this testing in the lab, and everyone's been really interested in the outcome. So we're leading the nation in that. Our community put money into this testing to see how ESPs work, because we believe that it could be a remedy to the air quality solution in our community. So it could be a way that we use, one of the tools that we use to help bring our area into compliance. So I'm really excited by those results, and hope I can share some of the pictures Nick brought back. So they show all these wires hanging off of a stove, and how they test it, where they're testing things at. It's pretty cool. So I hope that I can get that out to you as well to share some of the work that's going on. So one of the other things that we're working on too, we've got a lot of military members that are coming into our community. Hopefully by now you've heard that we've got F-35s, a new mission that's coming to Eielson Air Force Base. And this is a strategic decision by the Air Force. It changes the mission of Eielson. Under the old mission with the F-16s, which are still going to be here, it was a training mission. And so what that means is that we would have members of our Air Force that would come up here and train in the J Park. They would use our F-16s as the aggressors, so the bad guys, and they would go after them and look at strategies and techniques and how to become better airmen. As part of that, it's been a really great tool for us in the last few years, but it's really important that we understand the change in mission. So we go now from not only a training mission, but to an active defense mission. So the F-35 is a combat-coded aircraft. It is one that will be deployed across the world in defense of our nation. And that new mission is coming to us here in the interior. So we've got hundreds of new folks that are coming. They're going to start. They're showing up here in this next month, and they're looking for housing. As a community, we've done a phenomenal job of working to address that. We have been working on new construction, looking at our existing stock. And so I feel really confident that for the folks that come into this community, we're going to have places for them to either rent or to buy as they get stationed here at Eielson Air Force Base. So look forward to that. You may see some new faces in the community. If you see a member that comes in and they're of the military or just a new neighbor, go out and welcome them. Say hi, bring them a bunch of cookies. That's part of what it means to be an Alaskan and an interior resident. So lots of exciting things going on. We're also looking to an additional mission. It's the KC-46. So right now you may be familiar. There's the Air Force, which is doing the F-16s. They got the F-35s, and then we've got our Guard unit here, which is a state mission, and they run the KC-135. And so that's the Strato tanker. They're the big guys that roll around in the sky and they fuel all those thirsty birds, all those jets out there. And that's a really important mission that our state gets to participate in as well. So we're looking at other opportunities on how we can increase that refueler wing out at Eielson, which is going to help support the mission for the nation, and then it's going to help support our community too. So there's lots of really cool things going on. I am so privileged to be your mayor and really to have the opportunity to sit down and speak with you through these kind of opportunities. Encourage you to come out to assembly meetings, come to a Muffins with the Mayor, reach out to me by email, share these videos. If there's something that you're really interested in that you think I should be talking about, let me know. I want to use this as a way to be able to talk with members of our community about things that are coming up. So you don't have to read about it in some newspaper or blog. You can hear about it right from us, right from me. So I've got an open door. I want to hear from you. Please reach out, and thank you for listening. And look forward to an exciting 2020 here in the Fairbanks North Star Borough in the Golden Heart of Alaska.